Hey friends. Let's see, we're on day 23 of 32 days of lives. If you saw my post yesterday, I'm really sorry. So sorry about missing the live yesterday. I had to take a kiddo to the doctor, and luckily she's fine. But you know, just can't, when they're that little and they can't really communicate very well about if they really are sick or what's going on. I just felt better taking them, and so she was fine. It's just a cold, but she sounds horrible. So anyway, but that's good news. It's good that she's fine. It's good news. So yeah, so we're on 23 days. I'm epoxying today. No, I've already done that, but for real, it's what I need to be doing today. So yeah, day 23. And y'all, I know I look kind of gross. I'm really sorry. Y'all, they get sick and then they pass it to me, and so it like mutates into this nastiness and hangs around and like, ugh. So anyway, I'm mixing up my epoxy now. Just a reminder for everybody, I use FX Premium Epoxy. Somebody messaged me today, I need to post this on the page. Somebody messaged me today asking if they had a coupon code, and honestly, they usually do. You can get 15% off using Leslie. No, that was our group live Q&A. That was the group one for the month, this month. This is not my page one. So anyway, epoxy 15 is a coupon code that you can use for countertop epoxy to get 15% off. What else do I need to say about epoxy? Oh, you need to mix equal parts of part A and part B, and then you need to mix it up until it's totally clear. The smaller the amount that you mix, it's gonna get kind of like bubbly if you mix it too quickly. So it's gonna get bubbly anyway. So yeah, this is my glitter right here. And I get my containers. I don't like that I have some red and some black, but I get my containers from Amazon. But last I checked, they're out. And last my group members checked, they're out. They may have the red ones, but these are the 9.5 ounce jars, which holds easily 4 ounces of glitter by weight. So, So anyway, you can get some more on, Vicky, I saw your post in the group right before I got on here. I'll comment on it when I get off of this. Oh, so these are out. So another place you can get them from is Berlin Packing Company. Berlin something. And so you're gonna pay a crazy amount in shipping, but when you end up looking at it compared to Amazon, it ends up being close to making the same thing. So yeah, there you go. I don't know if that makes any sense. So like you pay less per container on Berlin, but you pay for shipping. On Amazon, you just pay for the containers, but you don't have to pay any shipping. So it ends up kind of working out a little bit. All right, so I've mixed this up pretty well. Looks good. So I'm gonna point you down so I can, let me get my iPad set up really fast. Keep forgetting to do that. All right, so Megan said they're actually in stock on Amazon, so you can go check it out. All All right, so these two are getting their last coat of epoxy. This one is getting its second, and then I have two over here that are getting their first coat of epoxy. So I always work, I always do cups that already have epoxy on them first, so that way I'm not transferring glitter. And then I do glitter cups after that, and then I work from lightest to darkest, so there's not as much glitter transfer. And then, let's see. I'm not going to spray paint the lids black. I have a bunch of black lids from colors that I don't use anymore. I just need to swap them out. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So I just use a gloved hand, put it on here. And then Shauna just put the link for the Berlin ones. You have to look for, she just put like the basic link, but you'll have to look for spice jars there. But don't like freak out about the shipping. If you price it out per jar, it ends up being close to Amazon's price. Maybe a little bit more, but they actually have them in stock, and they have black and the big size. Hey Tina. So I always do this where I smooth it out. I don't really know if it's like totally necessary, but it makes me feel better. So there you go. How's that? Oh, Angela, I'm so glad. Yeah, doing it without a rotisserie really is not, it's not fun, and there's a lot of room for error there. There's not as much room for error, which I like, so I'm glad it could help. Paula, I don't usually get epoxy down in the cup. I just kind of rub it up to the rim. I don't like put my fingers over the rim. I get little from where I brush it this way, I can get little pieces, but I just kind of use an X-Acto knife to get those off once it's cured. So it's not really that big of a deal, but oh, Susie, I'm so glad. Flora, I'm selling glitter right now. It's only to the group while I just work on building my stock and just get used to selling something else. I have been in the works about doing something else with glitter, like that I would sell to the public, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, and I'm still working on the details, but I will sell to the public eventually. I'm just not quite ready yet. Yeah, Marie, I really feel like it helps get rid of those waves, at least to me. So this one is getting its second coat. And so after this, somebody was asking about cure time for each layer. It's the same for every single layer. It doesn't matter. It still takes the same amount of time to cure for each layer. So I usually let mine, these I'll let spin overnight just because it's nighttime and I'm tired. But like if I do some during the day when the kids are at school or during nap time, I let them spin for about 4 to 5 hours, and then I'll just come in here and turn it off. But I don't touch it until like 8 hours. And that's for every single layer. Beth, no, it's not. This one's not mine. This is before I mix that one up. I don't have mine on a cup yet. I need to do that. I need to make some cups for another live sale. And so that'll be one I do. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so glad. Beth, yes, that is definitely yours. Okay, so this is a like red and charcoal gray color. This isn't black, and this is it's for Suzanne, who's ordered. She's gotten so many cups from me, and it's for the logo for like a horse ranch, I think. Oh, Bianca, thank you. I wouldn't say that my coats are very thin, but they're not crazy thick either. I don't know how to, I feel like it's a medium amount. It is thicker when you apply it with your hand, but it's not too bad. Sarah, mine says premium. It's premium epoxy. Angela, you're just so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, Flor, no, sorry. That was unclear on my part. So I let them turn for 4 to 5 hours. Then about 3 hours later, that's when I pull it off. So they spend a total amount of time on here for about 8 hours. If you're using a different epoxy, I'm going to move you over, hang on. Should not have worn the sweater. If you're using a different epoxy like Amazing Clear Cast, those take longer to cure. So you may have to leave it on there longer. So hopefully that makes sense. Amazing Clear Cast is going to take about 12 hours total. And 8 hours is probably a little overkill for this one, but they take so much time to do. I just would rather be safe than sorry. Definitely. Oh, Alyssa, it'll probably be a great fit for you to be in the group. Most everybody has a side business. It's a really great group of women. So that's opening on the 29th. Oh, Angela, thank you. Morgan, yes, I have a teal and a coral. I just would want, since it's wedding colors, and I want to make sure that it's what you think teal and coral are. I usually ask for things like that for people to send me like color swatches, like pictures, so that I can match it a little bit easier, because some people's idea of teal is different than mine. The group is $32 a month. And let's see, I use FX Premium Epoxy. It's the only kind I use. I'll never switch unless like something goes horribly, horribly wrong with this. And I've tried pretty much all of them, so I can say that pretty definitively. There's a new one that's out. It's made by the same company. It's all under the same umbrella, but I don't like it as much. So, all right, I'm going to turn you guys around, and I'm going to epoxy on this other side. Just hang on. I'm going to spin this. Hey, will you move that light? Okay, so let's get situated on this side. Y'all, I'm sorry. Give me just a second. Okay. All right, so we're going to move you this way. I know this is a lot of moving, but not bad. All right, so I've got 2 of these guys over here. These are going to be loud. These are my older turners, and they're louder. So just FYI, they're cranky. And you notice I turned this one on and it didn't want to start. So if you have one of those that does that, I usually kind of start pulling on it, and then it gets it going. So just in case you have one that likes to be a little stubborn, that's what I do. Oh, but yeah, they're going to be really loud. So sorry. They like to complain that they're having to work. Alyssa, it's my full-time job. I think it just depends on how you work it. If you work it like a full-time job and you treat it like a full-time job, it can be a full-time job. It just does take a lot of work. It's not easy. I'm constantly doing things every day that aren't necessarily like touching a cup. So sometimes the full-time stuff isn't just doing cup stuff. It's, you know, doing social media stuff, growing that. And it's just, there's a lot of work. Yes. The super small cups that you saw on the other side, that's a kid's cup. It is, it starts at 35. Yes, I definitely love doing this. Like, I love all of the parts. Like, I love... Do I get burnt out sometimes if I work too much? Definitely. I mean, anybody will, even if they love their job. But, yeah. Morgan, that's definitely okay. It's probably going to be easier if you email me at charlierosecreationsllc@gmail.com. But yes, that would be great. Yes, y'all, I'm really sorry. I know that's annoying. I try to imagine, or like when I hear that noise, I think, okay, it's money. It means I'm making money. It's a good noise, even though it's obnoxious. But yes, I do wine tumblers, Morgan. Those start at 35 also. Yes, I tell you, they're cranky. They're cranky. How do I know? Okay, so I know I've applied enough epoxy. Like, so this is the first coat. And so when it's smooth, so like when I can't feel the roughness of the glitter, then that's when I know. If you apply too much, it should be pretty easy to tell. It's gonna pull up and like, and not lay flat. So I just do a little bit at a time. I may not be able to get to epoxy these other ones, and that's okay. I don't know, I think I can get this next one. My business name is from, let me turn this one off. My business name is, it's named after my daughter. I started the business shortly after I had her. And so it just seemed pretty fitting. Hopefully this is enough. Oh, yeah, I have done a coffee mug, and I don't have it with me right this second, but it is posted on the page. A picture of it is. Oh, Lorraine, thank you for asking. It's actually, like, it's just a cold. It just sounds horrible, but they all kind of sound the same at the beginning, and I'd rather get her checked out because I don't want to send her to school if it's something serious and her pass it on to other people. Ooh, just had enough to do that one. That was close. All right. So, yeah, we've all got a cold. But other than that, it's not too bad. Joyce, I get nervous about it, or I did get nervous about it too at the beginning. It does get easier the more you do it. So, let's see, any other, Erin, yeah, I can use, well, the salt shaker, it's the same way I do all of my other, do my regular ombres. It's just I use a salt shaker because it comes out slower. So the technique is the exact same. Shannon, I don't remember what day it is, what day the shipping live was. It would say day something. But I just use regional rate A boxes and USPS. So, alright, sorry you guys, I'm going to turn you back around now that I've done this. And then I'll show you how I use the heat gun. So sorry. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to use the heat gun here for these guys, for all of them. For the third, okay, so let me answer this question real fast because it's not going to hurt to let these spin. So the group that's opening January 29th is $32 a month. I teach 2 new designs each month. I also do a skill tutorial just to help make your tumblers better in some way. And then I do a live Q&A every month where I just answer whatever important questions you've got going on at that time. So like I did mine, today was the live Q&A in the group for January. And so we did that at 2. We don't normally do it at 2, we normally do it at 8. But with these 32 days of lives, that kind of put us off track. We also have a monthly challenge, and each month I give them a theme, and then they make a tumbler around that theme, and then I choose 2 random winners, and then they get 12 ounces, which is 3 huge bags of glitter. And then just the community is amazing by itself. And then you also get access to the glitter right now. It won't be just group access forever, but group members do get discounted glitter always. So I don't know what the percentage is, but right now it's like $2 cheaper than what the public would pay, what my public price would be. So that's what you get. How do I keep the bottom glitter? So I don't when I'm epoxying. So like, I don't know if you can see, but there are flecks of red in here, and there's flecks of gray up here, and that's okay because it's an ombre and it's kind of supposed to do that. But what I try to do is do the top half first and kind of do it all the way around. And then once I get that done, then I come back and do this bottom part. And so that kind of helps do that, and especially it's important on the white, and that's when I really do that. But otherwise, I just kind of let it do its thing. I don't really stress too much about it. I don't know if you saw on that purple one, but that's what I did there. I did the top half, then I do the bottom half. Fran, it's totally normal to sometimes need a fourth coat of glitter. I've got a tumbler right now that I have to do a fourth coat of glitter on. A fourth coat of epoxy on. It's normal to have that. I just try to get it done in 3 because it saves money and time. But if it doesn't get done in 3, it doesn't get done in 3. Brianna, right now the glitter isn't available to the public. We're working on doing something where the public can buy some things. We've got things in the works, okay? I'm not ready to open up my inventory to 25,000 people. That's very scary right now. So, all right, so I have, this is a, so old heat gun. I think I got it for like $8 at Harbor Freight. And I use it on the low setting, and I put it about this far away from the tumbler. Ooh, can't see that. This far away from the tumbler. And I just do the heat gun over the entire thing one time around. So I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so that's all I do for right now. I will pull this tape at the 30-minute mark, 30-ish minutes. And yep, Shelly, these are yours. And I posted a video today that showed how I pull the tape and how I clean it up so that way I have a clean cup. Is this step necessary? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, and here's why. You are going to have bubbles in it, either from the epoxy or from just moving your fingers over it. Bubbles are going to happen. Imperfections are going to happen. And the heat gun, I really feel like, just helps smooth everything out so much better. Also gets rid of bumps, or bubbles, which is really important. So if you didn't see the video on how I take these off, that may be helpful for some of you if you are wanting to tape. I wanted to answer a few questions. Oh gosh, I really shouldn't show you guys my face. I look very sickly. All right, so how I keep up with things. I feel like my answer is a little odd. So most people who order, I've talked to them before, most of the time. But also I write everything down, and so I also have a pretty good memory, and I'm not working on so many cups at one time that it makes it impossible for me to remember stuff. So I keep up with it just because I know. Also, I do work in small batches. I know that Shelly said that. I do work in small batches. That is very true. So I try to work in batches at a time, batches of around 20, 25 at a time. And so it's easier for me to remember things. And also I have little Post-its that have all of the order details on it. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make a little tick mark for every layer of epoxy. So I'll do two tick marks. And then when I'm done, I slash through it with like an orange highlighter. So that one's done, which is really important when I have an order that has like multiple cups on it. So the whole order isn't ready to be moved up to the done list. I can scratch off which ones are totally done, if that makes sense. But I am not one of those people who's going to be good at having like an electronic list and looking at things like that. That doesn't work for me. I have to have a printed out list of stuff. So yes, there, y'all check out that video. It's pretty simple what I do, but I think a lot of people get like hung up on the tape part and all of that. So I have no idea how to say your name, but asked how or when in the epoxy process to use the heat gun. I do it every single layer just like I just did. As soon as I get done with the cup of epoxy that I mixed up, I go back and start from the very beginning and I do the heat gun on all of them. So normally I'd go over to the other side and do it over there too, but I'll just do that when I get off of here. So I try not to wait too long, or the epoxy has a harder time leveling out after those bubbles pop. So just as soon as I get done. Hey, Amy. All right, do I have any other questions? I also have a heat lamp that I keep over here too to kind of keep this area warm. That helps a lot. Epoxy does not like cold, and so keeping the area warm is pretty important. So I don't like aim it directly on a cup. I just kind of aim it in that general direction. So, okay, friends. Well, I am going to hop off here, mostly so I can go to bed. But as always, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I especially appreciate you hanging out with me when my turners are yelling at me and being a little ugly. Y'all, I have heard so many funny things from people telling me what they sound like. I've heard they sound like whales, just all kinds of stuff. So Victoria, so I mixed up a total of 2/3 of a cup. 2/3 of a cup. So 1/3 of a cup of each side of each part. And today I was able to do 5, 6, 7, 8. I was able to do 8 cups. 8 cups. 4 of those had, 5 of those, excuse me, was their first layer of epoxy. And so that uses even more. So, oh, Danielle, that's funny. Bianca, I have my heat lamps, I'm pretty sure are on my Amazon list on my website. If you go to my website, there's a little, one of the things is Amazon, Ashley's Amazon favorites. I think it's there. It's just a fairly cheap heat lamp. It's not anything like special. Yes, Heidi, right after I epoxy, I do the heat gun, and I do it on each cup for 1 rotation. So once it's rotated all the way twice, or rotated all the way around 1 time, I move on to the next cup, and then that's it. That's all I do. So, okay. Alyssa, I have my own glitter line, but they're all poly glitters. Michelle, I don't really have that happen too much, but when I get done, I just it's usually like little bitty pieces. It's not like a full thing. I just scrape off anything that goes over. So, Suzanne, I probably will like start feeling better in March. Let's just be honest. It's going to hang around that long. It always does. But thank you. As long as my kids feel better, I think that's all that's important. Hang on. Oh, it won't let me see that over there. All right, here's the thing. Donnell's asking about, she's not ready to invest in a tripod and a light ring and all of that. And I get that. I didn't get one for a long time. And doesn't matter what you do, it matters that you do it. So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter what products you have to make your live work, it just matters that you go live. So whatever works for you, whatever is better, you know, better for you. The tripod is pretty easy, and I think it's like $35. The light ring is pretty expensive, but you can get some pretty good tripods for not that much. But I wouldn't worry so much about the light if you don't have to. So Lorraine, thank you. Okay friends, well I am calling it a night. Appreciate you hanging out with me, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye friends.